In this video, we're going to talk about transferring Parent Plus loans to somebody else. Now, most people transfer Parent Plus loans to their child, but I've seen it a lot of different ways. I've even seen people transfer Parent Plus loans from one spouse to another or from one person to an ex-spouse. So we'll talk about the different scenarios for when people transfer Parent Plus loans. Again, usually this is to a child, and we'll talk about some of the good reasons to do that and some of the real big dangers that people don't think about and things you need to be real cautious about before you make that transfer. So first, why do families want to move Parent Plus debt in the first place? So usually, you've got somebody who either just wants to be free from the debt so they can go into retirement because, Parent Plus loans are taken out by the parents. And this kind of makes sense because if you think about parents when they take the debt on, they're in usually the latter part of their careers, right? Because you're dealing with college age children. So college age children, usually parents are in their, 40s, 50s, or 60s, probably typically in their 50s or 60s. And you think about that, income is going down with the parents, but it's increasing with the kids. So that makes sense if you have a fixed expense, like a monthly debt, that you want to transfer that debt from somebody whose income is going down to somebody whose income is going up. Also, a lot of times parents will take on debt for multiple children. And so if you have one parent taking on debt for multiple children, it really lessens the burden a lot of the times to take that Parent Plus debt away from the name of the parent onto the name of maybe multiple children, because then you're going from one parent to many children taking on that debt instead of just having it all be on one person. Now, what changes when you move Parent Plus? The big thing to know about moving Parent Plus debt is if you move it, then it is no longer federal. So the thing people don't understand a lot of the times is Parent Plus debt is taken on by the name of the parent. That means legally it is distinctively belonging only to the name of the parent. It is not the child's debt. Even if you have a handshake agreement and under the eyes of the law, it does not matter. So when you move Parent Plus loans, when you want to transfer it, the only way to do that legally and have it officially be that other person's debt, the child's debt usually, is to do that through a private refinancing. So that is something that is really different from, a lot of what you might expect, right? Like to take it from federal system where there's lots of protections and ability to pause payments, a lot of income-driven options, to take it from that to something that has very little protections, right? It's a private loan. That's a huge change that people need to be aware of. Now, there are alternatives to transferring Parent Plus loans. So, if it's a family member that you trust, then hopefully you could come up with some sort of maybe unofficial agreement if you can't figure out an official agreement. So you could, for example, have the other person pay the payments for you. For example, the child could just give you a check once a year when you visit at the holidays and give you a big check for the yearly payments that you made for the Parent Plus loans. You could, if you are doing an income-driven option, like getting onto the ICR plan or doing a double consolidation, then you could maybe have the person who is supposed to take on the debt, the child, do all the paperwork and handle all the recertifications for you. So the big thing to know is you need to know all your options first before transferring a Parent Plus loan. So those options before July 2025, double consolidation is an option. If you Google student loan planner plus do double consolidation, you'll see we have a guide for that. There's also the ICR option you can do forbearance. There's a lot of different things that you can do. So it's just worthwhile thinking about all of your options before transferring, but I will show you next exactly how to do that transfer if you want to. And if you want to get this best deal that's out there, if you go to our website, studentloanplanner.com, you can just go to get the best deal with bonuses and you'll see this page. The two most often companies that I see handle transfers well are SoFi and Laurel Road. So if you click visit SoFi, visit Laurel Road on your site. It depends on the rate environment, but we may have cash bonuses at the time that you refinance. It depends on the amount you're refinancing. But if you click on this one and this one at least, you could also check out a marketplace option like Credible and essentially just try to apply in your name specifically versus or whoever's the name that wants to take on the debt. Sorry, you should have the person who wants to take on that debt be the one that applies. So you'll have that person apply, and you'll need to have that person go through underwriting, and then it's not at all a bad idea to give these companies a call and try to explain exactly what you're trying to accomplish, right? Which is to move the Parent Plus loan from the person who originally borrowed it to someone new. And let me say again that transferring it from a parent to a child, a typical kind of amount for this might be transferring a $30,000 loan from a parent to a child. If it's something that you're trying to transfer that's like $100,000, and I'd be very cautious. I'd make sure you knew all of your options first. I would be very careful about transferring that amount of money just because you might have better options available than paying it back. And if that's the case, you can also go to Get a Custom Plan, and you can get a custom plan for your Parent Plus loans with Student Loan Planner. to talk through your options, because it's a huge decision whether or not you should transfer your Parent Plus loans, and you deserve to have all of the information that you possibly can before making that kind of a decision. So if you have any questions about transferring your Parent Plus loans from yourself to someone else, put them in the comments, and thank you for watching Student Loan Planner.